My name is Elena. I am 24 years old. I live in a quiet city with my parents. Since childhood, I believed in love. I believed that one day I would meet someone who would understand me, respect me, and walk with me through life. I dreamed about my wedding day many times. I imagined smiles, soft music, and a kind husband who would treat me with care. I thought my wedding night would be the beginning of a beautiful life. But I was wrong. My marriage was arranged. The man's name was Adrian. He was my father's close friend's son. I had never met him before. Not even once. Everything happened very quickly. My parents said, "He is a good man. You will be safe with him." I trusted them. I believed they knew what was best for me. So I agreed, even though my heart felt unsure. A few days later, his family came to our home. They smiled and spoke sweetly. They said I was kind, simple, and respectful. My parents felt proud. Everything looked perfect from the outside. But inside, I felt quiet. The wedding day came. It was big and beautiful. I wore a white dress. The lights were bright, and people were happy. Everyone smiled at me. They said, "You are so lucky." I smiled too. But inside I was nervous. After the wedding, when all the guests left, the house became silent. I sat alone in the room. My hands were cold. My heart was beating fast. It was my first night as a wife. I felt shy, scared, and hopeful at the same time. Then Adrian entered the room. He looked at me and said, "You look nice." I smiled softly. "Thank you," I said. I waited for him to sit and talk. I thought we would start slowly, maybe share our thoughts, maybe understand each other. But he did not. He came closer, but something felt wrong. His behavior was cold. There was no warmth in his voice, no softness in his eyes. I felt uncomfortable. I wanted to speak, but fear stopped me. After a short time, he stepped back and looked at me carefully. "Tell me the truth," he said. I felt confused. "What truth?" I asked. He looked at me with doubt. "You are hiding something," he said. My heart started beating faster. "I am not hiding anything," I replied. But he did not believe me. "I don't trust you," he said coldly. Those words broke something inside me. That night, there was no love, no understanding, only silence and distance. I sat there, feeling small and lost. The next morning, everything ended. Adrian stood near the door and said, "You should go back to your parents. This marriage cannot continue." I felt like I could not breathe. "What?" I whispered. "I don't want this," he said without emotion. Just one night, and everything was over. I packed my things slowly. My hands were shaking. My eyes were full of tears, but I stayed quiet. When I reached my parents' house, my mother opened the door. She looked at me and immediately knew something was wrong. "Why are you here?" she asked. I could not answer. I walked inside and sat down. My father came and stood in front of me. "What happened?" he asked. I tried to speak, but my voice disappeared. Tears rolled down my face. Days passed, but I still could not explain everything. Then the rumors started. People began to talk. They said I was not honest. They said I had a past. They said I had hidden things before marriage. I was shocked. Those lies came from Adrian. He told everyone his version, and people believed him. That hurt me more than anything. I stayed in my room for many days. I stopped going outside. I stopped talking to people. Sometimes, I looked at the mirror and asked myself, am I really the problem? But deep inside, I knew the truth. One night, I wiped my tears and said to myself, I did nothing wrong. That moment was small, but it gave me strength. Slowly, I started to stand up again. I began helping my mother at home. I started reading books again. I tried to keep my mind busy. It was not easy. Some days were still very hard. But I kept going. Months later, something unexpected happened. One day, I went to a shopping mall. And there, I saw him. Adrian. He was standing with another woman. She looked confident and rich. When he saw me, his face changed. He walked toward me slowly. Elena, he said. I stayed calm. I want to talk, he said. I looked at him. What do you want? He took a deep breath. I made a mistake, he said. I believed wrong things. I didn't try to understand you. I said nothing. I chose someone else, he continued. I thought money and status were more important. But I was wrong. His voice sounded weak now. Please forgive me, he said. I looked at him carefully. You didn't trust me, I said. You ended everything without knowing the truth. He looked down. You let people believe lies about me, I continued. You didn't care what happened to me. He had no answer. I took a deep breath. I forgive you, I said. He looked surprised. But not because I want you back, I added. I forgive you because I want peace in my life. I paused for a moment. I don't need you anymore. Then I turned and walked away. That moment felt powerful. For the first time I felt free. When I reached home, I sat quietly and thought about everything. I realized something important. I was not broken. I was just hurt. And I was healing. That night, I slept peacefully after a long time. The next morning, I looked at my parents and smiled. I'm okay, I said. They hugged me. My mother said, we are proud of you. Those words touched my heart deeply. Slowly, my life started to change. I focused on myself. I learned new things. I began to dream again. I was not the same girl anymore. I was stronger. Now, I help other girls who feel lost and broken. I tell them, never stay where you are not respected. Never let someone decide your value. If someone does not trust you, they do not deserve you. I learned a big lesson from my story. Love is not just words. Love needs trust, respect, and patience. Without trust, nothing can survive. And one more thing. Your life does not end because of one bad moment. Sometimes, that moment is the start of a new, stronger life.